Today we're going to cancel airlines. So if you're on a plane right now, as you listen to this, I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but your plane is canceled mid-flight. The reason is the whole series of arbitrary and unnecessary precautions they've taken because of COVID, which I got a good taste of last week flying across the country to and from. It starts really in the airport. So the airports are also canceled. So is TSA for many reasons, not just this one. But now, you go up to TSA now, at least at LAX and Baltimore. I don't know about the other airports, but and they don't check your ticket. This is part of the COVID safety plan. They look at your ID, but they don't look at your ticket. Now, how does not scanning the ticket protect from COVID? Who knows? Well, I do know. It doesn't. The whole reason they did check our ticket at security is for safety. Allegedly, it was needed to stop terrorists from getting on the planes because terrorists, I guess, wouldn't know how to book an airline ticket, even though the 9/11 terrorists were all ticketed passengers. But anyway, well, are we thinking that the terrorists are going to take a break now because of COVID? Or was the ticket checking step never necessary to begin with? If it wasn't, why did they ever do it? If it was necessary, why aren't they doing it now? These questions can't be answered. Speaking of unanswerable questions, as you walk through the airport, whole sections are taped off randomly. Why? Because of COVID, you can't sit here in these chairs, but you can sit over there in those chairs. It's not like this is going to help people space out. The opposite, in fact. Now you're just condensing people even more. So why can't you sit in these chairs, but you can sit in those chairs? Is there some sort of force field around the acceptable chairs? Has a gypsy cast a magical spell on those chairs protecting the sitter from COVID? Do gypsies even cast magical spells, or am I thinking of wizards? Again, nobody can answer these questions. Then as you board the plane, you get yelled at if you're too bunched together. You have to maintain your social distance as you board the plane. Yes, the group of 75 people about to enter a narrow metal tube and spend the next 6 hours sitting next to each other while breathing recycled air must make sure not to come within 6 feet of each other prior to that experience. Why? Then you're on the plane. The flight attendant, whose full-time job now is just to tell you to keep your mask on, informs you that there will be no beverage service. Well, they could serve water, but not alcohol. And this is terrible for me because I had a coupon for a free alcoholic beverage. That isn't the point, though. Well, that's kind of the point. But also, why would serving beer present greater risk of viral transmission than serving water? I mean, you're walking through the plane with a tray of plastic cups filled with water as everybody's breath germs settle on top of the water like muck on a pond. A beer would be in a can. Wouldn't an alcoholic beverage in a closed container be safer, if anything, than a cup of water? If anything, shouldn't they only be serving beer and whiskey? In fact, shouldn't they require that we drink it? I'm not sure why they would require it, but that would be fun. Also, I should note that some people apparently think that the fact that everybody's wearing a mask on the plane is an invitation for them to discharge their intestinal fumes at will. Somebody on my plane, I can say, was farting with reckless abandon. My mask stood no chance against this. Somebody else was eating some sort of garlic dish, okay? Farts and garlic. It was like being in the worst scented candle shop in existence. And I haven't even told you about the guy next to me who lifted his mask up to cough. Okay, every time he coughed, he would lift his mask up and then cough into the wide open air. A real concept problem here. Okay, I started to wonder if our plane crashed, would this guy take his seatbelt off right before impact? Like, if masks serve any function, then it's definitely most valuable and necessary precisely when you cough. Other people were doing the opposite, though, refusing to take the mask off for any reason. People were eating with the mask on because they did give us little snacks. You can't have beer, but you have snacks. They were feeding themselves by lifting the mask and inserting the cracker underneath the mask. It was like I was at an asylum watching Hannibal Lecter at feeding time. And I should mention that, except for the one guy already noted, everybody else kept their masks on over their nose for the whole flight. Baltimore and California, and then the flight back as well. I was the only one that I saw that I kept taking my mask off every chance I got. I got yelled at by the flight attendant like 3 times. Everybody else for 5 hours, 5-6 hours, they just kept the thing on. No fidgeting, no apparent discomfort, total obedience. Everybody on the flight with the thing over their nose the entire time. I felt like I was seeing the end result of some sort of insidious social experiment, which I was. But as far as the precautions go, all of it is arbitrary. And that's the case everywhere, not just on flights. Why do so many places have 10 p.m. curfews now? Like bars and restaurants aren't open past 10 in a lot of places because of COVID. Does the virus transmit more easily at night? Are there COVID zombies that come out in the dark, like in I Am Legend? No, but all of this is similar really to the lap bars on roller coaster rides. Is that little bar across your lap gonna keep you in place when the roller coaster is zipping around? No, inertia does that, but the lap bar just makes you feel better. It's for show, essentially. That's actually what everything at TSA is always about, even before COVID. I mean, one guy tried to sneak onto a flight with a bomb in his shoe, and now billions of travelers have to take off their shoes when they go through security forever? With that kind of logic, they shouldn't be flying planes at all. One crash should have been enough to shut the whole thing down. But the logic isn't logic. It's pageantry. It's theater. It's designed to make you feel better and also to control you. And personally, I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. I hate it. Being on a plane is miserable enough, and now with the mask, it's even worse. So, cancellations all around to everybody involved. And even when this is all over, there's still just cancellations to everybody. Just purely out of frustration on my part. Hey, you. You right there. Hit the subscribe button right now. Do it right now. I thank you for your compliance. It's somewhat appreciated.